Hey guys, the Cardboard Box Productions here, and welcome to my first boss countdown that is not in the worst to best format. Today's game is actually a series of games, the Mario and Luigi games to be exact. Now, the reason I am not doing this in worst to best format is because if I did, then I'd have to include like 50 bosses, and this would be like 10 parts long, and so, yeah. Anyway, the Mario and Luigi bosses really have very creative ways of defeating them, ways to counter their attacks, and so on. So, I'm going to be counting down the best of them, and they're going to be from all three games. Just a disclaimer, just a disclaimer, you are not going to be seeing a lot of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga bosses on this list. You will find a few, but mainly I just didn't like that game's bosses that much, so you won't find a ton of them on this list. The setup to the fight with Midbus was great. Earlier in the game, you have to fight him, and it's a forced lost battle, so no matter what, you're going to lose. So now, you finally get payback on this guy who beat you earlier. And you're doing it in front of a theater and a cheering audience. Wow, is this setup great. Midbus has a variety of attacks, including going into a cannonball in an attempt to body slam you, swinging a ball and chain for you to avoid, and also puffing up his chest, in which you have to continually punch him to keep him from punching you. And also, whenever you perform a successful attack on Midbus, the audience throw you coins. When he performs a successful attack on you, they give him food. You can use the vacuum to steal the food and gain its healing effects. But be careful, Midbus can eat it to also gain its effects. My only complaint with this fight, and it's a minor complaint, is the fact that if you die on this fight, which has happened to me, you'll have to watch while it's a good cutscene, a really long cutscene again. But other than that, this fight is pretty good. The Sunnyside is an interesting boss inside the Ube. Well, yes, that's actually what it's called. What you have to do is, it has eggs in front of it that it'll toss at you. You have to break the eggs when they're in front of it to release a Yoshi. Yes, you actually have to help Yoshi, but he's not too bad in this game, so that's alright with me. And once you get 5, they'll push a chomp boulder that'll go and hit him. Once the chomp boulder comes down, it'll knock the Sunnyside over so you can actually attack. When the Sunnyside is still standing up, its attacks consist of throwing eggs at you and using its vacuum breath to pull you in, which you have to hammer it to keep it from eating you and absorbing your health. Although the Sunnyside is knocked over, it's certainly not defenseless. It can grab a lever that'll either make a hole appear beneath one of the bro's feet, which he'll have to jump over, or the Sunnyside will get the lever will cause the lights to go out, and you'll have to hit a boo with your hammer to keep it from attacking you. Anyway, the Sunnyside in all was a creative boss, but by far the most special thing to me was the fact that this is one of the few times in a Mario game where I actually don't hate Yoshi. I know, can you believe that coming from me? Deep inside the Star Shrine, you'll find the Elder Shrewboy, which is a fun boss battle. Anyway, the Elder Shrewboy is weak to ice flowers, which by this point in the game is pretty underleveled, so I recommend using. His attacks range from using crystals to hinder the bro's jumping ability, and then he'll have a boulder, and he'll hit it at one bro and then dash towards the other on the ground. And his other attack is shooting fireballs. Halfway through, it'll look like the fight's over, and it shrinks down. And it's growing huge. Okay, and yeah. Oh no, not one of those shrub ships. Yes, if you remember, those shrub ships with the numbers, once those turns run out, it'll instantly kill the bros, regardless of how much HP they have left. You want to polish off the Elder Shrewboy fast, but there is a way to neutralize the ship. The only way to neutralize the ship is to hit the spike ball that goes around you with your hammer. Use Luigi to hit it if the ship is directly above you, and Mario if it's directly above the Elder Shrewboy. Two of the reasons I like this fight are, one, it keeps you on your toes, basically dealing with a time bomb that you don't want to go off, and the second is one of the reasons why I like the Midbus battle. You basically get to triumph against against a force that overpowered you earlier in your adventure, but since then you've become stronger, and now you can actually handle it. The Alpha Cretin is definitely one of the more unique bosses. Basically, it has a bunch of heads, and they'll either be red or green. Red heads can only be damaged by Mario, and green heads can only be damaged by Luigi. And what you want to do is to defeat all 6 of them. Once that happens, it'll separate into the Beta Cretin, which will clone itself. You have to guess which one of the clones is the real thing. And for attacks, they shoot lasers for one another. Yes, lasers. Some lasers don't hit either of the bros, some only hit one of them, and some hit both. And it's time to attack, it'll be pointed out which is the real one, and then they'll all switch around, and you have to attack, obviously, the real one. If you attack one of the clones, let's just say that's not going to do you much good. What I like about this fight is just how unique it is. Yeah, that's pretty much how I'd sum up this battle. Unique. The fight with Wistrom is interesting. Basically, this is the only fight where there's some kind of gauge for the boss. Basically, there's the regular Dermite, which is where you want to unload all your powerful attacks on, because as it has lower defense, and when you attack it, the bar will move closer to Wistrom. Once Dermite turns into Wistrom, that's when it gets harder. Wistrom is definitely the stronger of the two. When you attack it and it uses attacks, the gauge will go back down. Its attacks include launching a crystal heart above you, and you have to destroy it, shrinking one of the bros down, and you have to constantly hammer it to keep it from squashing you, and the counter damage only does 1 damage, because, well, you're tiny. Or it can spit out a stream of stars that'll sweep across the ground, and you have to jump over them. And it can use its magic wand to switch which place you're in. You can get it down to Dermite again, where it'll be more vulnerable. And I just like this fight. That's kind of all I have to say now.